Well, my name is Tracy, and this is my husband, Rick. And we've been married for 21 years and healthy for most of it. I had been vaccinated for whooping cough as a child and never thought about it again until I brought my children in to get vaccinated. Because it was a vaccination for children, I thought it was a childhood disease or illness that we are protecting them from, so now they're protected. Never even crossed my mind that I, as an adult, could be vulnerable to it.
I've heard of whooping cough. I always thought it was a childhood disease that happened years and years ago and was eradicated back in the 30s or 40s. It never really crossed my mind until I found out I had got it. I was traveling on business and felt I was coming down with a cold. Felt typical symptoms building up. Over time it got worse and worse, much more respiratory in my cough, and to the point where I realized something was much more serious than just a standard cold.
It lingered and lingered and lingered, and that's what really sort of made it stand out from a normal illness. He just could not get better. He literally passed out cold from a coughing spell.
The doctor listened to my lungs and said, "Here's some antibiotics." I took antibiotics for a couple weeks, then came back and said, "I'm still not getting better. I have this horrible cough. What's going on?" He took a chest x-ray and suggested steroids.
And then right at about that time, my son and I woke up on the same day with the same cough. So I immediately took my son into the pediatrician.
They were diagnosed with whooping cough, and at that point I knew I had it and brought it in.
And so, you know, with the diagnosis, we also got the, "I'm sorry, but there's not much more I can do for you." He did ask if anyone else in our family had it, and we said that's all of us but our 15-year-old, and he looked in his file, and it was probably about 5 weeks prior that my older son was vaccinated. So he lived in a house with coughing, hacking in close quarters for a good 4 to 6 months and never had a single symptom.
I found it difficult to conduct a conversation in a business setting just simply because I never knew what would bring on a sudden coughing spell. So I had to be very cautious about how I conducted myself in business and made sure that I didn't feel anything coming on either on a conference call or even in person.
I was even concerned to let him drive the kids because he had fainted twice. It is such a loud illness that you don't really want to go in public with it. You can't be discreet when you start that loud, suffocating, hacking until you finally break through and get your air. It's embarrassing. You don't want to do that in a restaurant. You don't want to do it in a movie or a grocery store. So you find yourself not going out. In your case, not wanting to talk on the phone and do business. We just wanted to stay home and all cough together. We all were exposed to this whooping cough at the same time, and our one son, who had been just vaccinated, was completely spared. It was really remarkable to us because the three of us who were not vaccinated suffered so greatly, and the son that was vaccinated was completely fine. So in having that experience, we understood what had happened. So we just wanted anyone that we could reach to know how this might be prevented. And if there was a slight chance of being able to prevent something like this, it is well worth doing because it is very, very limiting to your lifestyle and impacting on what you do every day, down to the simple things, like I said, eating and sleeping, let alone work and all the other important things you have to do.
I would say ask your doctor about the vaccine.
That would be my message. It's very important.